exist in the corporate world. So moving across. Yes, as already said, I work for an organization currently at Essilor. So what is so great about the organization I work? The main mission for this organization is improving lives by improving science. And I'm very proud to be associated with this organization because I'm sure you all will agree with me. As optometrists, this is very close to our heart. We are all in a profession for improving lives by improving sight. And this company has a mission as such. So being a part of this company has given me a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and I'm going to share some of those in the next few minutes. Before we go on to the corporate world, I would just reiterate certain common terms and common facts which we already might know, but it's very important to understand those before we move ahead. So talking about optometry, okay, so who is an optometrist? Yes, it has got various definitions in different countries because in different countries, optometrists are allowed to do different procedures. They have multiple roles. So we will just talk on the overall perspective as an optometrist. They are basically, or rather, we are basically primary healthcare specialist who's trained to examine the eyes, detect the defects, anomalies in the eye, signs of injury, ocular diseases, abnormalities, and overall problems in terms of general health in case of the eye. So what is it which is needed to be an optometrist? Yes, with the current guidelines, you need to be a recognized diploma or a degree holder. So what else do you need? Yes, the other qualifications which might really move up in your career could be a recognized master's degree, PhDs, master's in business administration. Yes, that could also be an additional qualification. Talking about the additional skills which you may require. A strong business acumen is an added qualification. I will talk about it a little further now. Leadership skills. Yes, this would play a very important role if you are going to be in a corporate environment, or maybe if you're going to manage a group of people in your own practice. Public speaking. Yes, if you're more interested in sharing your thoughts, your experiences to your fraternity, joining different conferences, talking to different sets of people, be it colleges, universities. So this would be helping you a lot in terms of, exploring your knowledge. The other important thing is related to the product training. Yes, when you join an organization, you need to be, again, well versed with the products which they are dealing with. So an additional qualification in terms of their product related training or information would be another additional skill which you may require. So the main debate is, as optometrists, I'm sure, since I was told that most of you are students, as optometrists, we are more exposed to the clinical side of optometry. I think that is very, very important. Whatever you do in life, I think these are the basics. These are the foundations. I would even at this point of time say that this is the basis for any of your future growth. So clinical optometry is very, very important at all times. Okay. However, there is also another side which you can explore, that is the non-clinical side of optometry. Okay. So is it very important that you need to be in only one of these, either clinical or non-clinical? Yes, you can have the best of both worlds. You can have a good blend of clinical and non-clinical. It is basically what you want to choose in your career. So let's start thinking a little bit beyond optometry. Again, I repeat, it depends upon the individual's aspiration. What you want to be, that gives you the path where you want to go. So it's nice to be into all, jack of all, master of none. I don't think we need to be that. we can understand, we should understand that it's very impossible. It's impossible to be in all arenas, but you can always choose a blended approach. So whatever you do, you can have a blended approach in terms of clinical, non-clinical, in terms of your practice. So talking about as an optometrist, I'm sure most of you are well aware of this clinical role because that is all we are all trained to be as a clinical optometrist. What is our main job function is to basically assess the visual health of the patient. Yes, offer advice whenever it's required. Screening other diagnostic procedures, prescribing contact lenses, spectacles, other visual aids, prosthetics. So all those things are some of our main jobs which we are all trained into. The list is ever flowing. It is unlimited. However, we can also look at the specialty practice because we have acquired those skills. So we can look at either practicing as a general practice, putting all these skills in one platform, or going into specialty practice, which might look like low vision aid practice, low vision aids, community optometry, vision care therapies, so on. I think you have lots of specialty areas in optometry also. So the choice is unlimited. So you have a choice, so many choice in front of you, and you can choose what you want to be in future. Or you can also choose an independent optical practice. So when you're talking about independent optical practice or a retail practice, as optometrist, yes, we can have a blend of the retail experience wherein you can showcase your dispensing skills, okay, and you can also have a little bit of the retail skills too. So it gives you a blended approach of both clinical and non-clinical skills. Non-clinical in the sense more into the sales and managing business, those type of areas. So talking in terms of the corporate environment, what would be the ideal or rather the clinical roles and optometry or a non-clinical role an optometrist can hold in an organization? Yes, I will just talk about it a little brief in the coming slides. They could be as a business manager, a product or a brand consultant, a quality auditor, a trainer, faculty. So these are some of the job roles you can have in an organization. You can also be a recruiter, maybe into the HR part, a healthcare administrator, into IT. IT in the sense you don't need to be a techie guy, but you can still be a consultant, in terms of the information technology protocols. I'll give you some examples of those. Or as a counselor in terms of counseling the customers in terms of how to market the products, how to service consumers, and so on. The other parts would be as a business consultant, a researcher that is working with research and development teams within the organization. Yes, if you have a flair for writing, you can be an author. Networking with functional bodies. That is a very important thing in terms of the organizational requirements. So I'm just going to give you a few examples of some of these job functions. As a role as a business manager. Now, when you talk about as a role of a business manager, what is the expectation out of this role? Yes, they could be either managing a team of people who could be an optom or a non-optom. Okay? It could be either ways, or it could be a blend of both. So you may be required to handle the entire business operation. Now, when I'm talking about the business operations, it looks like it is basically the clinical, that is clinical in the sense the products in terms of the clinical aspects, technical aspects, and also the selling part. So you will be handling a sales team, a marketing team, and the technical teams. So this could be a bigger role which can happen in big corporate worlds. Or you could also be as a brand or a product consultant. Now, this was more related to the contact lenses, IOLs, and surgicals. Now we have also optometrists stepping into the instrument divisions. Okay, so anything like ocular instruments, you have optometrists who are really doing well in the optical, the ophthalmic instruments segments also, okay, in terms of OCTs and all those things. You have optometrists who are really doing a better job than a service person who actually explains these products. So they understand, they're able to assimilate what they're trying to say in terms of the products. So they're making a greater paths into these segments also. So what is expected also out of them is basically to educate the eye care practitioners, coach them, bring in, suppose there's a new concept which is coming into the industry. It is very important that it could be either product related or non-product related too. So they are instrumental in going and passing this message, sharing this knowledge, this skill to the eye care fraternity. So this is a very, very important role. They need to network with the eye care fraternity, which could be comprising of opticals, optometrists, and ophthalmologists, depending upon the products which the organization deals with. Coming to the another angle of optometrist, yes, as a quality auditor. This is a very interesting role. Why do you need that? Yes, as optometrists, we understand the importance of vision. It is just not a product. Vision, eye is just not a product. It's basically a light thing. It's one of our sense organ, and we understand how important this is very important for an individual. We understand how it works. We understand the nuances of the eye. So we can relate the product in terms of the eye. So any compromise on quality, we know how much it will impact the eye. So this is a very, very, I would say it's a very big role in terms of quality auditors. Right now you have, this is more related to the contact lenses and the spectacle industries, wherein you look in for signs wherein there can be a compromise in terms of quality. Now, what do you mean by compromise of quality? I don't mean by saying that there's always a compromise on quality. There could be in terms of, I'll give you a simple example of scratches on a spectacle lens or a slight tear on a contact lens. So all these could happen in the process. It may not be always consistent, but you have to look in for those signs. So they play a very important role because they understand that these may not be very good for the eye, and they need to either destroy it or redo it. So they play a very important role in this angle. They also understand the protocols which are needed, and they are also instrumental in making those protocols. What are the things which need to be done? So all those things, they can really be instrumental in making those protocols. Yes, this is something which most of you might be familiar with, because you will have a lot of optometrists, including me, and there are many more in this industry, who will be actually coming to the universities and colleges and taking lectures and dealing with certain aspects of optometry related subjects. So this is something which I'm sure most of you will be familiar with as trainers and faculties to universities and colleges. So talking about the trainer and faculty, how is this going to be very different from the academics, which is normally done at colleges and this thing? It's just not related only to the colleges, because training happens even to the eye care practitioners. Please understand, there is always changing dynamics. Okay, there are new innovations, new technologies, which are being improvised, or which are being innovated on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so it's important that the industry keeps abreast with all these innovations. So the optometrists take these innovations, these new concepts to the eye care practitioners. So how do they do it? They actually need to go and train the eye care fraternity on these skills, these innovations, make them understand how this will be helpful for their patients, consumers, and it does not only stop with this. They also assist in problem solving. Now, what do I problem solving? If they are stuck up with at some point of time in terms of the products or in terms of the process, the optometrist, the person who is involved in this the organization, will be instrumental in dealing with the problem solving approach. So when we talk about the dimensions of optometrist, so far as you see, they are multidisciplinary in the sense they can go to the limits where they want to go. So these are some of the job functions and the expectations out of the job. Now I talked about another interesting fact as recruiter. So what do I mean by HR, human resource? So how do you think an optometrist can play a major role? When I'm talking about the corporate world, yes, we are talking about the organizations which would be dealing with eye care and eye care related products, right? So there is a huge need of optometrists because I've told you all I just listed out some job functions, job roles. So you find that optometrists can fit into any of these job functions. So there is a huge requirement of skilled optometrists, okay, and they can easily fit into any of these departments. So who better to hire them than an optometrist? Yes, normal HR can do all these things very easily. But if you have to do it with perfection, I think an optometrist in these roles can do the job quite well. So you have optometrists who are also in HR in some organizations who also participate, or even if they are not a part of the HR, but they are instrumental in the recruitment process. They take the interviews of the optometrists, they understand their skill sets, their level of learning, their level of inclination to learn new things. So all those things are being assessed by an optometry team in the organization, okay, to move those things to actually recruit those optoms into the organization. So an optometrist can also play a role of a good HR in the organization. So they're instrumental in actually getting the right mix of candidates. I think that is very, very important for an organization. Yes, this is something which I thought I should explain a little bit. In terms of information technology, what do I mean by a tech consultant or IT consultant? What do I mean that? Yes, you don't have to be an IT guy to be into this. Today, it's a digital world. So most of your eye care services, processes, and all these things are getting digitalized. Okay? So you can be involved in giving certain advices in terms of the programs or in terms of the functions, which could be helping the products, the services, the process to move on more smoothly. Yes.
Yeah, your screen is right now in the recruiter HR, but is that correct? Just confirming because you moved on to IT. Yeah,
no,
just wanted.
No, IT.
Yes, ma'am. That's what you were talking about IT, but the slide was on HR, so I just wanted to clarify. Thank you, ma'am. Please proceed.
Oh, now is it in IT? Now is it in IT? Hello, is it in IT?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is in IT.
Okay, right. I'll proceed. I'm sorry. So, talking about I'm sorry. I'll just repeat it. So, you can be instrumental in actually helping them to write programs and write applications which could help them in running the products, the process more smoothly. Okay, so you play a major role in these, in creating applications and all those things. You can recommend your recommendations will play a major role. Yes, as counselors, in terms of managing the expectations of customers, in terms of the eye care practitioners also. So when you actually go and talk about a product or a concept to an eye care practitioner, it is very important not only to talk only about the product, but
I'm sorry to
also
disturb again.
give them the nuances of, yeah, counselor.
Ada, it has not moved, ma'am. There is some issue with the thing. It's still in IT. That's why I just interrupted you.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah, the slides are not
Now,
moving. No, not it.
no,
It's still in IT, ma'am.
no,
Take few
1
seconds.
minute.
It may take few seconds for it to.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's okay, ma'am. I mean, counselor.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, Tamil, I'm sorry, I couldn't see the screen. I'm because I'm using my screen. Thanks for helping me out.
No problem, ma'am.
So,
Sorry for the
coming as talking about the role as a talking about the role as a counselor, I think that is quite interesting because it's not just important that you go and talk about the product and talk about the nuances of the product. It is also very important to help the eye care practitioner to give him an insight as to how this would help his consumer or his patient. So, it's also very important as to impart the knowledge of how to counsel those products or the concepts to the end consumer. So they play a role of a counselor also. Talking about business consultant. Yes. So what do I mean by a business consultant? Depending upon your diverse experience within an organization, you can still be associated with the organization even if you are not a full-time member in the organization as a business consultant. So if you the more you know about the organization, the different job functions in an organization, you have a role of a business consultant to a organization also. Coming to the another important role, I'm sure this would be very interesting for most of us, R&D, that is the research and development departments in the organization. Okay, are you able to see the R&D slide?
Yes, ma'am, able to see.
Oh, right. So I'll go a little bit slow in that case. Okay, so
it's not changed in my screen. Gayatri, are you able to see? Yeah, now it is there.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are able to see here.
Tamil, I think your net is something slow or something. Can I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. So talking about the R&D, the research and development team within an organization. Yes, this will be a very interesting thing for most of us. So what do? You have an opportunity to work along with and building the new innovations. You have a chance to try out these innovations and make it ready to implement in the field. Okay, so basically taking it to the organization, make it as a product and implement it within the ICAP fraternity. So very important here is since most of the R&D is more of science, optometry will, or rather optometrists will bring a new dimension to the innovations. As he or she can really understand the impact of the innovation on the eye, whether it is optics or a product as such. So they can really know what will be the impact of the product on the eye. So they have a very a clear understanding, or rather a much better understanding than the rest of the R&D team. So they can also have a lot of role in these types of job functions also. Yes, marketing. I think I would say this is one of the important roles in an organization, because marketing is not a bad word, because it is basically trying to spread the message across in terms of the information, the product related informations to all the person related. So how do you think an optometrist can influence marketing areas? Yes, they help in designing the communication. In some organizations, the communication, the products or the concepts are very, very technical. Okay, so it's very hard for anybody else to actually simplify the communication. So optometrists, because they understand the real meaning of these communication, these product, the process, they can actually translate it in a much simpler word for others to understand. So they play a very important role in terms of communicating complex things into simpler ones, especially if it is in case of consumer communications. Okay, and not only that, they help in terms of the product brochures. Okay, putting the concepts in the right manner so that it's easy for the eye care practitioners to understand and implement. So I would say, in terms of marketing, there are other areas also, but I've just given you these two, which are the more important functions. So in terms of marketing, they are more involved in terms of communication, both to the end consumers as well as to the practitioners, be it opticians, optometrists, or the ophthalmologists. So what is corporate optometry like? Yes. So you can look into a product specialty. Yes, you can be a product specialist to any of these things which I've already told you earlier. One thing I thought is very important, which I may have missed in my earlier talk, is that uh, there are services which are required in almost all major departments in an organization. It is depending upon your interest and knowledge and experience. Apart from all these, if you have a flair for writing, organizations encourage you to write articles, they implement surveys, aid in researches, and so on. They play a lead role in terms of analysis of customer complaints, in terms of operations, and can rise to a quality inspection or inspector too. So in terms of these places which I've enlisted today, their role is very, very critical. In terms of quality inspection, in terms of training, in terms of managing the operations, in terms of managing the business. I would say it's a cluster of roles. I would say it's a multidisciplinary approach, the role as such. So maybe you have one profession, but you have different career options. So what is optometry like in terms of the corporate world? There are lots of opportunities. There are lots of chances to build interpersonal relationship, because you need to understand that it's just not the optometrist in an organization. You have different departments. Yes, as an optometrist, we are more self-sustaining, in the sense we can practice ourselves, we can be alone and do our job too. That is what we will be mostly trained for. Though we will be working in different places like hospitals, opticals, and all those things. But corporate is slightly a different thing together, where you have multidisciplinary departments. Okay? So it's very important that you have a very good interpersonal relationship, because you need to work in harmony with all the departments in the organization. Yes, you cannot say, I'm a technical department, I would do my job and I would not think about what happens to the rest. Because please understand, an organization is result oriented. So all the departments have to work in harmony to get the desired result. So building a good interpersonal relationship is a very, very important thing here. You can understand the business in total, which will really help you in future. If you want to set up your own practice, if you want to do something different in life, I think understanding the total business sense is very, very important here. It is also very important because you also get to know the marketplace. You know what is happening in the market, because you're always in touch with the field, with the marketplace where things are really happening. You know what is working, what is not working, what is the trend. It may not be only related to your products or your subject. It could be in relation to what generally happens in the industry as such. So you may be the first people to know this information. So it's very nice to have all these information at your fingertip. So having said all these things, It will help you to grow you as a person in terms of your knowledge, skill, and I would say as an overall person. So, what do you need? I've talked to you about different job functions, what you can do, and all these things. But what exactly do you think you need to be in this place? I would say the first important thing is people skills. I'm sorry, people skills. This is very, very important. As discussed earlier, you deal with a huge number of people in your organization. Okay, so you may be able to maybe you may have to deal with hundreds or even thousands of people in your organization. May not be physically, but it can be even various needs. So you need to understand them and work in harmony with them. So that people skills is very important, both internally as well as externally. Why do we say externally? Because the people whom you are going to deal external would be people who are much experienced, very well educated. Okay, they may be in this industry for so long, and you may have to go and share your products, your concepts to them. So this is very important that you have a good management of people skills. People management is very, very important. Professionalism. Now, what do we mean by professionalism? Yes, be very professional in the sense be job oriented. It's important that you understand what is expected out of you and go and directly deliver it. Unnecessary, there'll be a lot of distractions around you, but you should know how to evade those and be. It's like horse with the side horns, side reins. So you don't look this side or that side, and then you move straight across. So you need to be a little bit more like a horse, okay? And business skills. Yes, this could also be very, very important because in the long run, if you really want to have a good career path, this could help you to move along the corporate ladder. Hard work, I think there is nothing to substitute hard work anywhere. I would say hard work is important. More than hard work, I would say be very smart when you work and have a passion for what you do. Passion is something I would say exists everywhere. Passion and hard work exist in every field, in every workplace. I think this is something which needs to be an elementary thing in all the job you do. Okay? So if you have your passion and if you're committed, that is exactly what an organization would need to. A good communication skill, be it verbal, written, any forms of communication skills. I think you need to be very convenient and comfortable with all those. So talking about the key challenges, I've told you about the what is required in a corporate industry. What are the corporate challenges? So I would say everything is not a bed of roses. You need to know that the other side of grass is also green. So very important here is what are the key challenges? Talking about the corporate challenges, yes, very important. For those people who are aspiring to be in a corporate career, you need to come out of your comfort zone. I think that is very, very important. I would say this is important for anything which you want to try something different. If you want to be different, then you have to come out of your comfort zone. Yes, because as an organization, there's a lot of expectations out of you, out of your team. There'll be a lot of pressure to deliver results. You need to manage time. Because you need to understand that the full organization works on the business of business impact, its vision and its mission. So you need to ensure that your role is aligned to the same. There's long working hours, physical strain. Mostly, I mean, it depends what role you're going to take. It could be an outdoor work. Okay. Yes, you need to be quite resilient to withstand the scorching sun, harsh climates. Yes, you maybe have to travel if the job demands. Uh, Having said all these things, uh, again, I repeat, if you have a passion for your job, I think these would not be a very important, uh, I would say, a barrier. You get to meet new people, understand different people, you learn from different people's experience, because they will also be sharing their best practices. So it's basically like your knowledge, your experience is going to develop by these in the due course of time. So what are we trying to say? It's a competitive world. If we need to do different things, then we need to think differently and do differently. So, how do you think you can do this? Very important. You can't discover new continents without having the courage to lose the whole course. So, what do I mean by this? You need to really think, do I want to do something different? If that is the case, then don't expect the same thing in the next thing, in the next job you want to take. If it is going to be different, accept it that it is going to be different and take it. So you can't, every job is not going to be the same. There is going to be pros and cons. So you need to be mentally flexible and strong to take different job functions, different roles. And that is how you can really be successful in this world. So talking about optometry is a rewarding career. Yes, I would say corporate optometry is again an area of specialization, because it has got, as I told you, multidisciplinary approach. It's multitasking also sometimes. There is an extensive exposure to the eye care fraternity. It's very nice, because I'm sure, if you are going to have an individual practice, you will not get time to meet a fellow colleague or a fellow optom or your friend in the same community. Okay. Whereas in this field, you can still network with a lot of eye care practitioners. You can understand their problems, you can understand their best practices. Believe me, these will all add a lot to your career and to your knowledge. Yes, build a good relationship with the eye care network. I would say this is something which is irreplaceable. It's something which is very nice, because you are in touch with almost all the major eye care practitioners. You are more prominent in the field. Yes, it is also helping you to understand the other side of business. Now, what do I mean by other side of business? Yes, as an optometrist, as a clinical optometrist, you deal with products, right? So you are more involved in dispensing them, but you don't know what is it that takes to make that good quality product. So it is nice sometimes to be in the other side, to understand exactly how do you bring in those good quality products or good quality process onto the table of the eye care practitioners. So it is basically understanding the other side of a coin. Next, as I always tell you, it is a chance to learn from others' experience. This is a very important point in terms of corporate optometry, wherein when you network, when you mingle with other eye care practitioners, you have a chance to learn from others' experience. It is a continuous learning. There is always a myth which prevails in the corporate. I mean, when people see a corporate optometrist, they always say that you stop learning because you are more into the business sense. I would beg to differ, because no organization stops you from learning. It is only a self-interest. You can, I think they would encourage you to learn a lot, because that way you become more confident to face the eye care practitioners. So I would still say you have a lot of chance in learning, and I would say learning is a continuous process. So, what is it we are trying to arrive at? Whether it's clinical, non clinical, I think that is not the issue here. there is nothing right or wrong, because there is success and failure everywhere. Understand your SWOT. What do I mean by SWOT? SWOT means your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Understand your own strengths, maximize it. Now, I've actually, in the last maybe about 20 to 30 minutes, I've just talked to you about what is it needed in terms of different job functions in a corporate. See the major attributes, see whether you have those, or rather you can learn those. I'm sure all of us are not born with all of these skills and knowledge. One thing is you should be flexible for learning, flexible to uh, across new ideas, flexible in learning, be ready to learn new things. So if you have that in you, I think it will be helpful for you to approach a corporate world. So you are a brand. I know if you have to be successful, you need to be a brand yourself. Wherever you are, whichever job you do, I think you need to be a brand. Now, what do you mean by a brand? A brand stands for consistency. It stands for confidence. Okay, so all those things. When you look at a brand, it actually gives you a hidden message. It talks about genuinity, genuineness, confidence, trust, faith. So all those things are very, very important as a person. So if you are a brand, wherever you are, whatever you choose, you can really survive, and not just survive, you can become successful in those areas also. So to conclude, yes, let there be peace and love in optometry. I will just end by leaving you all thinking with the successful quote. The whole world will step aside for a person who knows where they are going. That means if you know the direction you want to take, I would say there is nothing to stop you. So again, I would repeat, whatever you do in life, whether clinical, non-clinical, ensure that you are a brand. You need to be very confident. When people see you they should be very confident about you. And wherever you are, you can still be successful. So with that, thanks a lot for your patient listening. Have a great day. And if you have anything else to discuss, you can always write to me at the below mentioned email address.